Hi, Bothered Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. So, it was recently announced that Canada will, in fact, be purchasing 88 new F-35s, the brand new fighter that doesn't even really work, from the United States. This comes after Justin Trudeau originally promising in 2015, if he was elected, that he would scrap that deal and that we wouldn't be buying the F-35. And so here we are many years later, and nothing better to show for it than a waste of time and money to pretend like there was an open competition to choose the same aircraft. Now, there's probably a separate video needed for all the reasons why the F-35 is a terrible aircraft. But the main one I want to focus on is that the US military itself has admitted it's basically a failure. Because this plane was designed to try and fit a number of military roles, it does precisely none of them well. And because of all the new tech, they're still working out the bugs on it, even though it's been in production for like at least a decade now. And sometimes doesn't even really want to work in the Arctic. And there's just, like, honestly, the problems kind of go on and on. But what's really infuriating about this is that this whole thing was a sham, because I'm even hearing reports that the government had like a draft sort of statement ready 2 years ago to talk about why they would still need to purchase the F-35. And, you know, this kind of just touches on a couple different things, such as, you know, Canada's hyperdependence on America in terms of our militaries being so integrated that it pretty much guarantees we're always going to buy American equipment at this point, even when it doesn't make sense, like this case, for example. But the main problem is that, like, first off, under Harper, the deal was sole sourced, and that stuck in a lot of people's craw. Then Justin Trudeau comes into power. He says, you know, we're scrapping that deal. We're going to have an open and fair competition. And then they basically set up for the competition so that basically there's only one choice, which is the F-35. So it was all just a bunch of nothing. So it's just wasted time and money. So now the jets are also more expensive. The jets don't work. The jets aren't really suitable for Canada's military or its general missions, both past and present, and ostensibly even in the future. We're only buying 88 of them, by the way. Most of our aircraft right now are used for like Arctic patrolling and sometimes participating in NATO missions like, you know, Libya, Syria bombing, things like that. Fun, right? And that's a very small number to protect all this airspace and then also go off to war, right? And then there's the additional fact that, again, nothing was actually done in the intervening years, meaning our current fighter jets are just getting older and weaker. So, yay, good governance, I guess. Nothing of value happened, and we're not getting anything of extreme value. Not saying that these planes are going to suddenly fall out of the sky once they hit the Canadian Arctic, but the whole way this went down, and the fact that the government may allegedly have had a statement basically saying, oh yeah, this is going to be the end result, 2 years ago, just again stringing other companies along, including Canadian companies, and making the public think that, you know, they were going to uphold another promise, right? No, that's just typical politics, right? Broken promises all the time. But this whole story is such a supreme farce. No matter which side of the political spectrum you are on, you have every right to hate this story and what's happened, either because you wanted the planes in the first place and so this is just wasted time and money, and that's valid, or if you're like an anti-war activist and the liberals said we're not going to buy this aircraft and now they've done it anyway, so broken promises, yeah, equally valid. If you're someone who saw, hey, maybe we could get like more jets for a lower price that would still work, like the Saab Gripen, which was the second last like finalist, yeah, that's also valid. Basically, the only people happy about this are those tied to the F-35 program, which again means we'd probably have to talk about it separately in a whole long video full of context about the whole program, why it's terrible, why it continues to be a failure, and all that other nonsense. But right now, the unfortunate reality is that 7 years was spent on this file with nothing to show for it. The circle of stupidity is complete. We're right back to start. Nothing meaningfully changed or progressed, and we are all the poorer for it. And that's what's bothering me today.